My mentoring day, so I'm spending the whole day mentoring my team. Just finished a whole bunch of Instagram, IG lives, not IG lives, hangouts, Skype calls with the people on my team to help them build their business. Even in Crona times, I can't be meeting people face to face, but I'm bringing them in online and helping them grow. So some people I meet once a week, some people meet once a month, and some people meet once a quarter, just depending on what they're working on, how important their projects are. But the very minimum, I'm meeting everybody once a quarter in my business to help them build and grow. But I'm excited to now be here. Devon here in the chat. Let's bring him in. My computer fixed. My computer is fixed. Yeah. Back on streaming tonight. My man.
What's going on, Evan?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Dude, it's been a while since we last connected.
That's true. Probably over a year.
Maybe. Man, that's crazy. You're getting everything, dude. It's all growing out now. Look at that.
Yeah, I've been letting it grow.
So for people who may not be familiar with you, what's a quick down low on Devon?
My name is Devon Trish. I am from Chicago. I've been in LA it'll be 4 years in actually this month. No, July. Well, next month.
4 years. I remember when you. Wow, dude.
4 years. I'm an actor, producer. I guess can say I'm an activist to a certain degree. Comedian, just all around entertainer, motivator. That's me.
So activist side, like how are you dealing with everything happening right now? What are you up to? What are you doing?
Well, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. It's really hard to really deal with it, but I think the main thing is to make sure that we are mentally strong, because we can easily break down. Yesterday, I went to a peaceful protest in LA. It was amazing. Everybody was out there, young, old, all races, all genders. Everybody just marching and walking to the beat of one drum, pretty much. And we're all, unified. So that's been pretty much my message, just trying to convey, spread information as far as what needs to happen, as far as like defunding the police, spreading unity, spreading love. There's certain sites that you can go to if you need food or shelter or things like that. So just trying to spread awareness.
So for the whole defund the police thing, I mean, last night, Minnesota, they make their announcement. I don't know if you saw, but the city council voted to defund. So what I posted on my Instagram last night is, okay, this is happening. I mean,
right.
I didn't know if it was actually going to happen, right? I mean, you can have people are protesting and great, but it's awesome to see that they're doing something. Like I don't know what the odds you would have put at somebody actually saying we're going to defund the police, right. But so they're going to do it. So now the question is, okay, well, what do you replace it with? I mean, we know a lot of 911 calls are more about social service related, right. Mental health issues or actual health issues or EMT, paramedics. So diverting some funds to social causes, social work.
Absolutely.
But what's the rest of it? Like, as it was starting to come, I was like, ooh, so what's the actual solution? I mean, I don't know that we're going to come with the answer, but I'd love your perspective on what you think should be the answer.
And I've been thinking the same thing. Like, so as I, just learning about defund the police and things like that, I'm like, okay, well, what are we going to put in place? Because we need protection. We need certain things. So I know back, I can't remember, around, I think 1966, something like that, the Black Panthers actually created an organization where they policed their own communities. So they made sure that they fed the children, made sure the kids got to school. They had nurses set up, they had doctors, lawyers, everything was kind of within the neighborhood structure. So they made sure that there was no violence in the community. They made sure it was no people, breaking into houses, shooting, killing each other. They were protecting the kids as they were crossing the street to go to school. They would make sure the kids ate. They had a lunch program. They had so many different things set up in the community. And I think that's very important because somebody said a good key, if you have black police officers policing black neighborhoods that are from those communities, they may, you know how to relate more to the people that they're policing or that they're protecting. So if you have somebody that comes from the outside and they come in and, you know, somebody's joking around with them, they may not take it as a joke. You know, they may take it as a threat, and then things escalate. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Listen, so that was one of the, somebody commented something similar on my IG last night when I posted that, and they said, have police be from the communities that they're serving. Like, that's a pretty cool idea. It made me think of Magic Johnson. And everybody knows Magic Johnson as like the all-star, all NBA, like, but he's a businessman. Yeah. He's a businessman.
Very smart.
People sleep on Magic Johnson. He was the only one to get Starbucks to work with him. Like, Starbucks is not a franchise system. Starbucks is corporate owned.
Wow. That's huge.
So you can't go buy a Starbucks. Like, you can buy a McDonald's, but you can't buy a Starbucks.
Right. I didn't know that.
Except for Magic Johnson. So there were some inner cities that Starbucks wanted to go into, but they were worried about backlash and like, how do we represent the culture well, and like, how do we do this right?
Right.
And so they partnered with Magic Johnson and gave him co-ownership in, I forget how many locations, but he's the only one that they've ever done a deal with.
That's huge. And I knew he owned some Starbucks, but I didn't realize nobody else did.
Yeah, he's the only one because they partnered with him. So he's from the area, and so it's maybe an example, not a government, but like a corporation coming in and say, okay, we're gonna partner with you to make this thing happen. Right. How do we do it that sets everybody up for a win? So I like that. It just made me think of that when you said it, to have the police be from the communities that they're serving. Because part of it too is like when I saw it, I think, one, yes, a lot of money, should go to other social services. But also, I also feel for the, like, not all police are bad too, right? It's like, not everybody's a racist. There's a lot of great frontline workers, a lot of great police who are like, actually do care. And so like, what happens to them and their jobs and their life, with that happening. So it's an interesting, like, nobody's figured it out yet. So it's an interesting, I think it's a bold move from Minnesota.
It's huge.
I guess we'll see what happens. Like,
it's huge because, like you said, we haven't figured it out to this point. It's 2020, and we're still, still going through the cycle. It's perpetuating itself continually. So something has to change. Yeah.
So why I asked Devon on too is because maybe 2 years ago, I forget when I did it. I created a series called Black Excellence on my YouTube channel. And we launched 3 different series at the same time. Black Excellence, Somos, which was for the Latin community, and Girl Boss, for the women entrepreneurs. Yep. And so Devon was really helpful in helping me figure out, like, even what to call it. He's like, call it Black Excellence because Diddy at the time had a series,
It was huge. It was trending.
Yeah. And so what was super interesting on that one was none of the series did well. Black Excellence, Girl Boss, Somos, none of them did well. And that's partly because of how YouTube algorithm works. Yeah. It's because not enough of my audience cares about Black entrepreneurs or women entrepreneurs or Latin entrepreneurs. And so they suppress it because if it doesn't hit enough of your core audience, the videos don't take off. And we gave it normally I'd give it 3 videos as a test. And we gave these like 5 or 6. So it's like, Millie, like, maybe there's gotta be, there's gotta be something. And so eventually we had to shut it down, and we turned it into a 254 series. But what was interesting was the Girl Boss series and the Latin series, even though the views didn't do well, there was a lot of support for them. Like, oh, it's a cool series. Keep it up. Like, we love it. The Black series, the Black Excellence series, got so much negativity that I wasn't prepared for it, both from outside and inside the Black community.
Really?
I had to be on the comments like for the first 48 hours. Just keeping the peace.
Wow.
A lot of outsiders saying, well, like, why have a Black Excellence series? This is racism. Like, you should be featuring other people. But then also inside the Black community, where people are like, "Who's this white guy trying to talk about Black excellence? Like, you shouldn't be doing this," and all this stuff. Like,
can't win.
Unexpected. I mean, we have racism here in Canada too, but I think in general we have a lot more tolerance for people from different cultures.
Yeah.
And, almost everybody in a city like Toronto is from somewhere else. You know,
Gotcha.
My mom was born in Italy. My wife was born in China. You know, like where you grow up, having to get along. So I was genuinely shocked at the amount of backlash that we got on that series, and why I did it. Honestly, like I could have seen myself fitting more into the All Lives Matter camp.
Yeah.
And the thing that helped me, so when people before were saying, "Hey, we need to have more Black entrepreneurs, more women entrepreneurs, more featured on your channel," I would always tell myself, well, I want to feature the best. Like I don't look at color.
Right.
I don't look at sex. Whatever the best is, that's the one I want to feature. And it wasn't until I saw the story of Lieutenant Uhura.
Okay.
From Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know Uhura on Star Trek? So she was third in command of Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
It was like Kirk, Captain Kirk, Spock, and then Uhura. And at the time, it was the only Black and woman in any kind of power on a TV. Like this was what everybody watched, TV. And Uhura, her background was in Broadway, and she actually wanted to go back to Broadway after the first season.
She was going to quit.
Yeah.
She was gonna quit the show.
She's going to quit the show. And then Martin Luther King came to talk to her to say, "Hey, you can't quit the show because of how much this means.
We need you. We need you to represent."
And shout out to Gene Roddenberry who picked her, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that's huge.
White producer saying, "Hey, I'm going to take a bet on you and do this thing that's never been done before in TV history." And so she stuck with it 5-6 seasons, however long the show ran for. But my favorite part of that was thinking Whoopi Goldberg saw Uhura on TV and went to her mom to say, "Hey, mommy, there's a Black woman on TV and she ain't no maid." Because at the time, that's all you were. That's all that was.
Yep.
And so that started to shift my mind to say, we need to do more.
Yeah.
You know, like I've got Kanye on my wall behind me, and Kanye was the first top 10 I ever did.
Really?
Right? Kanye West was the first top 10 I ever did on my channel.
Really? I know I saw it. I couldn't remember which one was the first one.
Because a friend of mine wrote a blog post that was smashing Kanye against Taylor Swift, and this was like years later. Like, why are we still talking about this? I mean, and Kanye does a lot of things that gets him in trouble for himself.
Yeah, he's very vocal.
But don't sleep on him. Like there's a lot you can learn from him.
True.
Which most people don't see because they're so caught up in him doing his sometimes crazy things. So I made a top 10 rules just for my friend to say, "Hey, you might not like Kanye for what he did to Taylor Swift, but you can learn from him," right? Yeah. The guy who won more Grammys than anybody at his age in history of music.
Absolutely.
And so the first top 10 was never meant to be, it wasn't meant to be a series. It was just meant to be to my friend Mark, go watch his video on Kanye because you can learn from him. And then from there, it's like, "Hey, can you do Dame Dash? Hey, can you do Jeff Bezos? Hey, can you do whatever?"
That's how it happens.
And it just kind of steamrolled from there. But when I did it, it wasn't because Kanye was Black. It was because I wanted to learn from him. I had learned from him, and my friend was like trashing on him, so go learn from him. But ever since realizing the whole Uhura story, it made me want to add more, right? Try to add more color, add more diversity to the thumbnails, to the content, wherever possible, right? And it's like one of the biggest, not fights, but discussions internally is like, okay, we've done enough. Like we have enough. You know, if we're doing a series on billionaires, almost all billionaires are old white dudes.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder. Like you got to dig deeper.
Yeah.
To find the Oprah clip, to find these guys. Yeah. There are some. It's just
Jay-Z.
It's not most. Like it's a lot easier for us to just put Warren Buffett and put all these guys, you know.
You can easily find 10 to 12.
So it's a lot harder. So it's more work. But it's something, so the Uhura story is kind of what shifted me to say more of like the all lives matter wasn't a thing you know,
Right,
4 years ago or whatever. But to shift my mindset to say, no, this is actually important. So anyway, that was there's got a little bit of history. But so what we did now is we started a new channel called Black Excellence.
Right.
And I was chatting with Devon last week to say, hey man, you know, how you doing? You're free. You know, can you help? And what the goal is to have a daily video that's pulling from our other content as well, highlighting different people who are having success, who are showcasing excellence in the Black community. And so we'll see how that goes. And I'm appreciative to you for the feedback and the responsiveness and ideas. And
but the crazy part is, right, so because you hit me up, what was a couple days ago? That was like Thursday or something like that.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
So the night before, I prayed and I asked God, I said, God, you know, open up the right doors, connect me to the right people. You know, I just want to make sure I'm focused on the right things. I don't want to get, you know, just thrown off. The next day, you hit me up.
There you
and
go.
I was like, okay, this is it.
We're doing work.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and you were pretty quick, and like I was already working on it. Again, I just wanna, you know, I value your feedback. Even, you know, thinking like, okay, well, guys like The Rock, do we feature The Rock? He's half Black. Does that count?
Right.
You know, and people have different views, but it's actually personal for me because my sister's son is Black or half Black. Like my sister is not Black, obviously, but her, you know, the father of her son is, right? And so it's also like, well, how do I be a good male role model for something that I haven't been through, right? True. I mean, it's not my, I mean, a man, sure, but I, you know, like if somebody broke into my car or stole my car or broke into my condo or something, like I would call the police,
right,
with no hesitation. Like, it's not something to be feared, right?
Sure.
But you know, other people may not. Right.
I'll say I don't think I've ever called the police.
Yeah.
Ever.
So
like, I've never felt comfortable around the police.
So you know, that's my own internal battle. Now he's only like 3 months old, so he's got some time before things kick in. But can we start changing the world a little bit by the time he gets to be 14, 16, 21, 35, whatever? Because the thought of that does weigh on me. It's more personal to me too, because it's also, you know, hit my family. Yeah. Anyway, so you know, I've appreciated your feedback and insights, and you know, you prayed the night before, it came the next day, and
that was crazy.
I was already working on it, but I didn't want to launch it without your, you know, not blessing, but input and feedback, and just making sure that we're doing it right. Because I guess it's one of the things we struggle with is, well, what can we all do to lift up? Like, what can my role be? What can your role be? What people watching?
We all play a role. We're all connected. We all live on this planet, so we all have a place, and we all could do something.
You got Antonio. Let's go in the live chat saying this IG live is epic. Evan and Devon.
Thank you.
So just thinking through, you know, the YouTube channel. It's what I'm good at. It's where I have the loudest voice. Figuring out the Black Excellence channel. What we're trying to do is pull from the different Instagram lives that I've done, pull from different top 10 videos that I've done, and we're trying to mix up the calendar. So it's a mix of like a top 10 a week and pulling from somebody that's in the Black community. IG lives, like we're saving other people's IG lives. Yeah. So we had, you know, Dame Dash IG live, LL Cool J. I think that was yesterday's video or today's video. He did an IG live, and that's them just flat out sharing their thoughts and what's going on. Like he went live for an hour or something, sharing his views. So sharing that, but also sharing, like this video might make it there. Like me, well, this isn't a coaching call as much, this would be a cool video to put on there because it kind of talks about the history of why we even have the channel. But there's a young black girl who's starting a podcast, and was giving her advice on how to launch your podcast. And so like that video is on the channel. So we're trying to mix up the content of top tens, straight up like a full hour of LL Cool J just sharing his thoughts without anything, without an interpretation on my end. And then also if I've coached somebody or interviewed somebody from the black community and featuring that content. And the idea is to do one video a day, and continue to try to kind of spread awareness and have somebody to look up to, or a variety of voices to look up to.
7 days a week?
Yeah. How does that hit you? What do you think?
I think that's amazing. My question would be, because since you got a lot of backlash last time, what will you switch up a little bit this time?
I don't think the backlash didn't worry me. The backlash made me realize, holy cow, this is important.
Okay.
I didn't realize how important it was until the backlash came. Like I have no problem. The intent is always good, right? Yeah. Like I'm not doing this for malintent. Like we're going to lose money on this channel to get it going. I just think it's important that it's up there.
Message out.
I always will expect backlash from both sides, from people who don't understand it, for people who say, well, this is racist. You're not showing somebody better because you're leaving a slot open every month or whatever, every week. And then I do expect from inside the black community too, people saying, you don't know what we're going through, and who are you to, you're not the answer. So whatever, I'm okay with that because the intention is good. So I don't know that it needs to be very different. Honestly, I think even in the past 3 years, however long it's been, I think the acceptance of having allies who are not in the community, and just how important it is. Like, I don't think there's going to be as much backlash this time, to be honest, around it as there was before. But I don't shy away from, I don't mind that, because the backlash means that it's important.
True. And again, I think there's like a different energy in the air as well. It's like, I think we're at a breaking point, as a society. I was just talking to somebody else saying, like, I compared it to a kid at school that gets bullied every day. Bully comes in, takes your lunch, punch you in the eye every day. At a certain point, the kid is going to defend himself. He's going to get tired of getting punched in the eye. He's going to get tired of having his lunch taken. And he's going to defend himself. And I think that's where we're at. We're tired of being, having our lunch taken and punched. Yeah. And we're at that breaking point where we need positive reinforcement. We need direction. We need leadership. We need, and this is happening. It is happening. So I think that's why, your channel is very important as well, because you're an ally. And we, like I said, we're all connected. We all have to live on this planet. We all have kids, nieces, nephews, grandkids, what have you. And we want them to grow up in a society that loves and accepts them for who they are. I was also saying, like, we don't pick who we are. You know what I mean? We don't pick our skin color. We don't pick our race. We don't pick our nationalities. I mean, now you can change some stuff in 2020, but you know what I'm saying? Like, when we're born in what we're born, the suit that we have. So it's really hard to fathom, hating somebody for something that we don't pick, So I just want to commend you again for being an ally. I want to commend you for spreading positivity and even the channel and everything that you do. It's amazing. I'm grateful that you even considered, connecting with me and one of my feedback. So thank you.
Cool, man. Well, someone's asking, where would the channel be? It's actually already up. It's relatively new. There's 600 subscribers or so, but just look up hashtag Black Excellence and put Evan Carmichael, and you'll find it. It's a black and white icon, and then you'll be able to see we started doing the daily content. What really sparked for me was all of this stuff is great, but it's going to pass, right? Like the protests are going to pass. It's a hyper conscious moment right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But how do you keep it going afterwards, so that in a year we don't have to
lose momentum.
do all that, right? So I'm thinking, well, how do I get a channel going so that every day there's something to look at, to look forward to show your kids, to, try to be part of the ongoing solution. It kind of reminded me like when you go to Tony Robbins' event, you get all motivated and pumped up and excited, but like it's easy to go back home and then it's gone. So
absolutely,
what's in your calendar? What are you doing
I've
daily?
Experienced that same thing. I used to go to a conference, increase conference in Hawaii.
Yeah,
and we would go to the conference and we're pumped up and excited. Get back home after a couple of days, like back to the same routine.
Yeah.
So it's all about consistency. We have to be consistent, do something every single day that's going to push us closer to the goal, because the moment we stop, we drop the ball. And then 10 years from now, we're going to look back and say, man, we're going through the same thing.
Yeah.
20 years from now, our kids, they're going to look back at pictures, our grandkids, they're going to look back at pictures like, man, my dad marched and now I'm marching. But we should be, further ahead.
Yeah.
So consistency is key.
Cool, man. Well, listen, I appreciate your help, your guidance, your support, your patience, the love, over years too, right? This isn't just like, hey, this thing popped. Who do I know? Devon, like we've been connecting, and Devon's been a big supporter of me for years, going back for like that first meetup in California, in LA, where you showed up at the coffee shop with the shirt.
Representing.
Yeah, man. So appreciate you and your, the history, but also all the ongoing love and support and advice. And for people who, just to kind of wrap it up, I guess, people who want to find out more about you or what you're up to, and even your other stuff, like your acting and sketches and all that stuff, which have gotten so much better too, by the way. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, man. Like I remember you just doing this little in your bedroom, kind of acting, but so much better, dude. I came back, man, Devon is doing it. Anyway, people want to dig into your world. Where do you want them to go?
Just follow me here on Instagram at Devon Trish. I post everything on Instagram. I stopped posting on YouTube. It was kind of, just taking a toll, I guess, just being a little tedious. So I just started posting everything on Instagram. I connected with the guy. He moved out here about 4 years ago. He's from Virginia, east of Bowdoin. And he's a film art director, producer. He does everything. So that's why, one of the reasons why my videos started looking better.
Is that the guy who's in the shot with you? Where you're doing like at the table, you're back and forth? Or that's somebody else?
Which one?
Oh, you're sitting at a table and like there's a guy who's shorter than you, who's on the other side of the table, and you're having this conversation back and forth.
Maybe.
Okay, whatever. All good. All good. Go follow him, Devon Trish, Instagram.
Yes,
stay on the lookout. Talent with a huge heart for good, and just appreciate you, man. Thank you for the love and support.
Thank you. Anytime.
All right. Take care, my guy.
Peace.